Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Parker Thompson.
And I'm Hayden Hudson. Our top story today.
An airplane crashed in Ogallala, Nebraska this past weekend. The plane began to malfunction after taking off, causing an internal fire. Once on the ground, first responders arrived at the crash and attended to the pilot. The pilot was not injured. An inspection is being done to find out what may have caused the fire.
Long lines didn't keep people away from voting early. With the election only a week away, Nebraska Nightly's Luke Vi gives us an inside look on early voting here in Lancaster County.
Lancaster County has been a no-excuse early vote state since 2006. Registered voters can request a mail-in ballot or vote early in person, and many citizens try to take advantage of this for their own convenience.
In Lancaster County, one of the biggest challenges for early voting is we really only have one location where voters can actually come and vote in person early.
The county began receiving early vote ballot requests back in July, but couldn't officially send them out until September 30th. The deadline for requesting a ballot by mail was October 25th. For the early vote to be counted, the commission must have physical custody of your ballot by 8 p.m. on election night.
Since then, I think you've seen a steady increase in voters wanting to vote early because they've discovered how convenient it is.
30 staff members assist with early voting at the election office, and over 1,100 people help staff the 198 precincts on Election Day. The main concern for election officials is to keep the process moving to avoid long wait times for voters.
I chose to vote early today because I had a little bit extra time. Didn't know what I was going to have time on the election day, so I figured I'd just get it done with now. The line was a little bit long, but the ballot process was really easy. They got a good system in there.
Early voting is well underway in Nebraska, with many voters waiting in long lines to be able to cast their vote early. Todd says it's important for voters to make sure they are voting in their correct precinct to be able to make sure their vote is counted. If you are unsure, you can always look up online at Nebraska Voter Information Lookup to be able to make sure you are voting in your correct precinct. For Nebraska Nightly, I'm Luke Vi.
No matter who you're voting for, there are likely a lot of different emotions you're feeling, and those emotions could be impacting your sleep. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains something called electsomnia and how you can help manage the symptoms.
This election is causing you to lose sleep. You're not alone.
We call it electsomnia, so it's insomnia linked with the election season.
Sleep specialist Michelle Drerup with Cleveland Clinic says in her clinical practice, she's seeing more people being triggered with election-related sleep issues. She says the election can worsen symptoms in those who already struggle with insomnia and can also trigger sleep issues in those who don't have chronic sleep problems.
The person has difficulty falling asleep, and they may be kind of thinking about the election or potentially what the future might look like, waking up in the middle of the night and struggling to fall back asleep, or even just poorer sleep quality.
Drerup says to prioritize sleep before you even go to bed by limiting social media and election news exposure, which can worsen stress and add to sleep difficulties. Also, be aware of your negative thoughts and challenge them.
Just try to stay in the moment of where things are at right now.
Finally, Drerup says not to focus on the election what-ifs, instead zone in on things you can manage.
We have survived many elections. We'll get through this, right? It's only 4 years, trying to figure out what I do have the ability to control. I'm going to go out and vote. I'm trying to, do things to support others to vote. So thinking about what I can do versus a lot of what's out of my control.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The sleep specialists also say to remember to practice healthy sleep habits, like getting exercise regularly, avoiding napping late in the day, and limiting alcohol or caffeine before bed.
A Lincoln teen was robbed at gunpoint on Saturday. The 19-year-old was attempting to sell shoes to an online buyer. That's when 3 men in ski masks and black clothing approached him with a gun, demanding the shoes. The robbery happened near South Coddington and West Jean Avenue just before 9 p.m. If you have any information, contact LPD at 402-441-6000 or Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600.
Flu season is upon us, and the University Health Center has got you covered. All UNL students can receive a free flu shot by dropping into the University Health Center on October 30th through November 1st from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. All you need is your in card and a vaccination form.
Nebraska state officials have decided against building a 3,600-acre lake between Lincoln and Omaha.
A new report by the Nebraska Recreational Lake Trust found that if the lake was built in the proposed location, the construction would threaten the water quality of the well fields that provide water to Lincoln and Omaha.
The report found that 2 smaller mini lakes further down the Platte River could work instead. Building these smaller lakes, however, would require the Platte River to be dammed up. 2 state senators who sit on the legislative committee were asked for a comment but refused.
You know, and it's been a lovely week this week, just the weather-wise, and Logan Schlotman has more.
I'd say the weather has been pretty well. Maybe besides the gusts, it has been pretty breezy here, but let's take a look at our current temperatures across the state where we see 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, and even upper 40s. So it is quite varying here around in Nebraska right now. It's currently in Lincoln 84 degrees, southerly wind of 37 with gusts all the way up to 48 miles per hour, dew points around 36, and a little bit low on the relative humidity. Some dangerous fire weather is permanent around right now as our current satellite. Nothing too much right now except for some high clouds covering the Midwest, and we do see those storms that are over in Wyoming and South Dakota and North Dakota. As our current satellite right here, we do have those 2 clusters of clouds over in central Nebraska and in southeastern Nebraska. Taking a look at that current radar, nothing too much, especially in central and eastern Nebraska, but over in western Nebraska, we do see a little bit of rain that has passed through the area. Our latest NAMS model run is we're going to be seeing a lot of that storm, especially tomorrow. That rain's going to pick up, especially up over in southeastern Nebraska. That's where a majority of those severe weather we're going to be seeing tomorrow is going to be around in that area. While talking about that, our day 2 SPC outlook, there is an enhanced risk over in eastern Kansas and a little bit of Nebraska, clipping probably the Falls City area, but majority of this risk is going to be from Texas all the way up to Wisconsin, while one of the threats is a tornado outlook, which we do have a hatch zone over in eastern Kansas with a 10% chance as well in some parts of Nebraska. But taking a look at those current fronts, we do have that stationary front. This is the reason why it was more cooler over in western Nebraska compared to right now over in eastern Nebraska. But that's going to change as that cold front is going to push through hopefully by tomorrow, bring in some chances for rain, which we do need, but also a possibility for snow, especially in the extreme portions of the panhandle. By Thursday, should be another clear day, mainly probably mostly sunny, and that cold front is going to extend all the way over into the Appalachian areas. As our rain chances, it's finally not zeros for a lot of the time, as we'll be seeing varying chances for rain. As tomorrow, we'll see a 70% chance of rain, Thursday, Friday, zeros, and then Friday on to Tuesday, we'll see 50s all the way down to 40s. Taking a look at those later conditions for tonight, it'll be 53 degrees, still some strong winds, southerly 21 to 28 miles per hour. We'll have a 20% chance for showers, and gusts can still be up to 48 miles per hour. Taking a look tomorrow, those severe thunderstorms are going to be possible. That cold front is going to be bringing in some cooler temperatures, 63 tomorrow, but wind speeds should look to mainly be around average. As taking a look at that week ahead, we'll be seeing those temperatures cool down, especially Thursday, Friday, 57, 64, but those chances for showers are going to be back, but temperatures are mainly going to be ranging around in the 60s. For Tuesday, it looks to be just a tad bit cooler, around to 55 degrees. Taking a look at the week ahead, after next week, we'll be seeing probably more chances for seasonally above average temperatures, and same thing for precipitation as well. So some more warm and more precipitation should be in the following weeks. That's all I have for weather. Back to you.
You know, I love the rain, but walking to class in the rain, not my cup of tea. Anyway, coming up, Husker basketball's final exhibition.
And Nebraska volleyball stays hot. Stick with us on Nebraska Nightly.
Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
Husker sports fans had quite a few options to choose from when deciding what to watch this weekend.
Nebraska Nightly sports anchor Harmon Johnson joins us to recap the busy weekend. Harmon?
Well, thank you, Parker and Hayden. It was indeed a long weekend for Husker athletics, with most of the action ending favorably for Nebraska. We begin on the hardwood as both the men's and women's basketball teams held exhibition games. Nebraska men's hoops was in action Sunday in their final exhibition before the regular season begins in less than a week. For the Huskers, the new kids on the block made a big impact in the outcome of the contest. The mayor and his 6th year as head coach, here we go. Midway through the first half, Bryce Williams dumps it off to Gavin Griffiths, who hits the corner three. The Rutgers transfer, Nebraska up by 3. Later in the half, Cale Jacobson to Berke Bayuktenzel, who fakes, spins, and finishes at the rim. Nebraska up 35-30 at the half. Another transfer had himself a day. Former Ute Raleigh Wooster finishes the lay-in. Nebraska pulling away 40-32. How about one more new face getting involved as Washington transfer Braxton Mia rolls one over the front of the rim. Nebraska heats up in the second half and earns an exhibition victory 73-53. The Cornhuskers open their season at home on Monday against Texas Rio Grande Valley. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The number 23 Husker women hosted Doane College for their exhibition contest. Naismith Trophy watch list senior Alexis Markowski led all scorers with 16 points. Britt Prince, the Elkhorn North product, dropped 12 points in her Husker debut, going a perfect 8 from 8 from the charity stripe. For Doane, Beatrice native Mac Hatcliffe scored 15, while also cashing in all of her free throw attempts. Doane will begin their season at home on November 6th against Peru State College, while Nebraska will kick off their 2024-2025 campaign on November 4th as they take on Omaha at noon following their annual Life Skills Pep Rally. Despite being a major underdog against Ohio State, the Huskers had their chances to win the contest late in the fourth quarter. Nebraska led Ohio State in multiple categories, including nearly double the rush yards and almost 10 more minutes of possession. Each team had only one turnover, and one of the biggest storylines of the day was the penalties, Nebraska being called for 7, costing them 62 yards, while Ohio State was called for only 3 penalties, including a targeting personal foul. The questionable officiating continued as Husker running back Emmett Johnson was denied a first down after appearing to pass the line to gain. The Big Ten Chief Operating Officer Kerry Kenny released a statement about the issue, saying, quote, "The ball carrier crossed the 37-yard line and a first down should have been awarded to Nebraska. Replay should have stopped the game to review the spot since it involved the line to gain." Following the game, Nebraska Nightly Sports Director Trey Marler broke down another one-score loss and near upset for Nebraska from the Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio.
Came into the Horseshoe and gave the number 4 team in the country all they could handle, but it was a late 2-minute drive for the Huskers that fell just short as Dylan Raiola's pass was picked off by Jordan Hancock as the Huskers fall to the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes 21-17.
I was proud of that football team today. I was proud. They didn't back down. They had some really tough breaks, and they competed. It's the first time since I've been here that I felt a championship mindset in the locker room.
Despite the loss, the Huskers have a lot of positives to bring back to Lincoln. They just came into one of the toughest environments in college football and went toe-to-toe with one of the best offenses and defenses in the league for 4 quarters. The Huskers are back in action at home next week as they're set to host the UCLA Bruins. Kickoff is set for 2:30 p.m. Central. Reporting from Columbus, Ohio, Trey Marler, Nebraska Nightly Sports.
Nebraska volleyball had 2 successful Big Ten contests on the Terraflex this weekend. On Saturday, they took on the Maize and Blue of Michigan, looking to improve to 10-0 in the Big Ten. Inside the rocking Bob Devaney Sports Center we go. First set needed extra points. Michigan with the advantage. Back set from Morgan Burke, and Valentina Vallette finishes the set 28-26. Second set now. Nebraska looking to get back on track. Harper Murray from the back row terminates on one of her 17 kills on the day. Nebraska ties it at 1 set apiece. In the third, Nebraska defense is going to come alive as Taylor Landfair and Rebecca Alec pair up for a monster block. Nebraska takes the third set in commanding fashion, 25-11. Into the fourth, Huskers trying to close it out. Merritt Beeson off the free ball, perfect pass to Bergen Riley, receives and puts it right back down for the match point kill. Huskers take their 10th Big Ten win to remain undefeated in conference play. They also tallied their 20th win overall. Nebraska begins a long road stint this weekend as they'll take on Wisconsin and Northwestern before heading west. And finally tonight is Game 4 of the 2024 World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. After taking the first 2 games in LA, the Dodgers dominated last night, taking a shutout into the 9th inning of Game 3, ultimately winning 4-2. Game 4 will be tonight in the Bronx, the Yankees with their backs against the wall. For the Dodgers, the bullpen will try and secure Game 4, and for the Yankees, Luis Gil will be on the bump trying to extend the season by 1 more game. You see the remaining schedule on your screen, as all games are if necessary. Should the Yankees win tonight, another contest will be held in New York before the teams would head back to Los Angeles for a potential Game 6 and 7. You can tune into Game 4 tonight at 7 p.m. on Fox. And guys, an interesting nugget about postseason baseball, there's only one team that has ever come back from 3 down, and that was the Boston Red Sox in 2004 in the American League Championship Series. There's never been anyone to do it in the World Series.
You know, as long as the Yankees lose, I'm fine. Okay, they took out my Royals, and that's all I care about. But anyway, if Freddie Freeman doesn't win MVP, I think every Dodgers fan everywhere is going to riot.
He's out hitting home runs by the Yankees by 1. He's got 3. The Yankees only have 2.
Hey, I don't know about you guys. I'm just excited to see the Huskers take on UCLA.
Yeah,
Totally.
well, that forecast Logan just showed rain on game day. It'll be interesting to see what the California team can do when they come in.
We'll see how that goes.
When we return,
Trick-or-treating hosted by the Lincoln Police Department.
UNL's annual Husker Haunt.
And a costume party down in the Bourbon Theater. All after the break.
Need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
It's a big week here in Lincoln. Joel Bierbauer is here with all the details.
Do you have a little one who can't wait for Halloween? The Lincoln Police Union and Lincoln Police Department will be hosting an all-inclusive trunk-or-treat at the Sand Hills Global Event Center Tuesday, October 29th from 4 to 8 p.m. Get your Halloween spirit on right here on UNL campus. Husker Hunt will be held at Nebraska East Union, 1705 Arbor Drive from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Festivities include a costume contest with a shot at a gift card, a haunted house, and a haunted hayrack ride. Looking to bust a move this Halloween? The Bourbon Theater Halloween Party and Costume Contest will be held Thursday, October 31st, starting at 8 p.m. with tickets costing $15 to $20. The event will be hosted by The Voice finalist Brian Olson. That's all for entertainment. Back to you guys at the desk.
You know, I absolutely love Halloween. Just make sure to check your candy. My costume, what are you doing for Halloween?
I'm probably gonna read a mystery novel. Maybe. What are you doing for Halloween?
All right, you know, I'm dressing up. I'm economics teacher Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
So does that mean you'll be talking like that all night?
Just like that, all night.
That's great.
All right.
So excited for that. Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Nebraska Nightly.